guys, Bitcoin is kind of trading sideways. Ethereum hit $2,700 today. Some altcoins are pumping, others are trading sideways, just depending on what you're invested in. Right now, we're in a point in the market where we could be shooting up, or we could be seeing a fake out before the election that is already going to be coming up next week. Overall, though, I want to talk about the sentiment in the crypto markets, price action around Bitcoin, what everyone is talking about in terms of, like how I said, either a rip up or a fake out, and what you could be expecting. Overall, though, if you're new to my channel, go and check out the rest of my content. I'm an intermediate trader documenting my journey since 2023, keeping you guys updated on the events in the crypto markets, as well as showing you guys my wins, my losses, my perspective, and everything else in between. But other than that, guys, let's go and jump into it. So guys, go ahead and show me some support on X. Like how I said, I'm trying to get monetized on X and my YouTube channel. So overall, go follow me on there, _PlayboyG. I give a little bit more of my personal life as well as what I think is currently going on in the markets. But overall, guys, price action around Bitcoin, we're currently sitting at around 72,000. Today we have been deviating downwards. Yesterday we did hit that 73,000 mark, which was really bullish. Everyone was talking about how all-time highs were next in the bag, but based off of the price action, you know, we could be seeing a deviation to the lower point. Overall, though, yesterday we talked about what was fueling this and why this could be different, and the main reason was the fact that, you know, Wells versus retail was starting to get that huge ramp up. Usually we started to see retail, you know, do a little bit more in terms of the longs and the fueling in the market, and this is whenever we start to see, you know, those futures and perps start to, you know, wrap everything up, and usually from there we can see liquidations happen. But Wells started to jump into the mix, so this started to see, you know, a lot of positive price action moving up and sustain that breakout above 70k. But overall, we've been wanting to stay above this region, and right now, based off of the news, we could be seeing a deviation. Now, in terms of whenever you get your news, guys, I think it's good to have a different perspective, a broad perspective on what everyone is talking about. And you know, I always hear people preaching their own perspective in terms of what they think is going to be happening, but everyone kind of pushes their own narrative based off of how they feel on specific sectors and, you know, what their calls are. Overall, though, one main person that I've been following is Justin Bennett. Been very transparent about whenever he's right and he's wrong, and right now he has a great post talking about exactly how he feels. And I think this is, you know, a good perspective from an analyst, so that you can have an understanding other than, you know, just giving you fluff information. Overall, he says, I've been hesitant to talk about the markets until we have more data to work with. All I'll say is there are some worrying signs again, with perps leading this breakout. Wells trimming long today versus retail, and open interest at year-to-date highs. Spot buyers have been more present on this move than others in recent weeks, but 2 days doesn't equal a trend. 70k is now the level to hold. If that fails, watch for a 65k sweep. Tomorrow is the last day of October, and early next week is the US presidential election, not to mention Friday's NFP. Like how we've been talking about, there's huge events coming out this week. Overall, though, tomorrow is the last day of October, and early next we got these, you know, specific events, the NFP. Don't get too comfy with any assumptions. So guys, everyone's getting super bullish right now, but the reason why I make these videos is to give you an understanding of the macro perspective of what's currently going on. You know, you could take this as a bearish post, but I think it's being transparent based off of what's currently going on. Everyone wants to be, you know, super bullish and just say we're going to be ripping up like crazy, but the people that are more transparent with you, showing exactly what's going on and how they feel, should give you more, you know, of an understanding of where we could be going. Everyone's getting super bullish right now, but at the end of the day, you need to understand what's fueling this. He goes on to say, not too long ago, he says, Bitcoin perp Wells on Binance were trimming longs, increasing shorts versus retail all day Wednesday, which was pretty much today. We've seen this before. What's nice about this indicator is that it often trends before Bitcoin breaks its range. See below. Things could change, and as mentioned earlier, I'm still waiting for other charts to unfold. I'll share an update in the morning. So guys, based off of, you know, whenever we start to see these specific trends and these indicators, based off of, you know, trimming of the longs and shorts versus retail, and those wells, overall we can see that this is whenever we start to see, you know, specific trade action around Bitcoin, sideways price action before we start to see huge rip ups as well as deviations. And this is kind of where it kind of worries us. So based off of these specific regions, I'll put the arrows to it, we see deviation points and then we start to see a reclaim. But honestly guys, with what's currently fueling this, like how we've been talking about the perps and futures, honestly, with retail as well, we might be seeing a deviation. And honestly, we don't have enough data to really determine this. That's why I think it's good to have an understanding of what potentially could be happening. But overall, at the end of the day, we won't know. Right now, the range that we've been talking about with Bitcoin is 70,000. We do not want to drop below this region. If we do, then 65,000 is in the bag, just depending on how that retail versus well trade sentiment is currently going. On top of that, we have a whole bunch of news events coming out. So these things are also going to have an effect on the markets, which in turn are going to have an effect in the crypto markets and altcoins and everything else in between. Now, in terms of how certain coals feel, one main guy I like to follow is Miles Dutcher. He's talking about how a massive cup and handle on the Bitcoin and gold chart, and with Bitcoin already in price discovery, is Bitcoin about to make a big catch up? So guys, based off of, whenever we start to see the liquidity in Bitcoin, in the S&P 500, Bitcoin needs to start to catch up, and if not only catch up, it needs to rip up above. I have a great chart showing you guys the S&P 500 versus the price action around Bitcoin. As you can see, guys, throughout August and September, the S&P was outperforming Bitcoin, and currently we are starting to see a flip. The flippening is happening, and usually, guys, whenever we start to see this is an indicator that Bitcoin is starting to catch up and is starting to pass the S&P 500, the US markets. This is another strong indicator, as well as the Bitcoin gold chart, as well as a few other ones that are, strong indicators showing us that we're potentially on the shift of a huge move. But at the end of the day, like Justin Bennett says, 2 days does not determine whether we're gonna be, automatically gonna shoot up to the end. Don't get too comfy with any assumptions. At the end of the day, 70K is the range to hold, so we don't want to be deviating lower than 70,000. But if we do, 65,000 is on the table, and that's where we can start to see altcoins start to return all the gains that they've been making this week. Overall, Mustache says that his plan is still the same for altcoins. He says, my plan for altcoins, classic PO3 pattern, accumulation, done, which was through 2021 through 2024, guys. You had 3 years. Other than that, then he says manipulation, which is what we've been facing throughout the year of 2024, whenever everything started to crash down after those March highs and everything. Next, guys, is the distribution next phase, the most exciting phase, which is the pump up, the rip up altcoin season, when everybody starts to make a ton of money. Excuse me. Overall, though, guys, based off of where we're at with altcoins, nothing has changed. We're still on the verge of crazy gains in terms of whenever we're going to start to see that shift from Bitcoin into altcoins. We talked about how right now dominance around Bitcoin is currently sitting at around 60%, and that is a strong indicator as to when we start to see that shift into altcoins and everything else. As top of that, we also have Ethereum reaching these new peaks. So whenever Ethereum starts to pump up, altcoins tend to follow. All right, guys, so quick synopsis of currently what's going on. Overall, go show your boy some love on X_PlayboyG, trying to get monetized on there and this YouTube channel. I appreciate you. Overall, though, we're trading at 72,000 today. We have been seeing whales trim their longs compared to retail, as Justin Bennett covered. Overall, though, he talks about how right now we don't have enough data in terms of deciding exactly what is going to be happening in the markets. 2 days does not really determine that we're in an uptrend. We claim 70,000, so we need to stay above this region. If we fall below it, 65,000 is on the table. The main reason why we're feeling a little bit scared is the fact that the whales on Binance were trimming their longs and increasing shorts versus retail all day Wednesday, which is today. And based off of this price action, that's whenever we see the futures and perps, and those get liquidated usually. So we could be seeing, a deviation towards the lower point. But this can all get, overvalidated by having Bitcoin shoot up like crazy. Overall, Miles Dutcher gives a great chart over the Bitcoin and gold chart, showing exactly how gold is in price discovery and if Bitcoin is about to make a catch up. I showed you guys the chart around the S&P 500 and Bitcoin, and how Bitcoin has been lagging with the S&P 500, but now it is catching up. It is already on the verge of, it's already there. It already practically broke it. But like I said, a 2-day breakout trade action does not determine these things. Overall, the plan for altcoins for Mustache and many other traders is still the same. We already saw the accumulation phase, the manipulation. Now next is the distribution for altcoins to get that liquidity from Bitcoin and start to rip up like crazy. that's pretty much what's going on in the crypto markets, guys. Overall, Bitcoin is starting to chop a little bit sideways based off of, you know, what's going on with those well and retail traders. Overall, we need to see exactly Bitcoin stay above 70,000. Tomorrow is the last day of October. So hopefully we close out very, very strong. Right now we have all different types of sentiment in terms of if we're going to be ripping up or deviating lower. So it's good to keep a understanding of what's going on the macro lens of what's fueling this rally, and don't get all caught up in the hopium and, you know, the whole wag me, we're all going to make it sentiment, guys. At the end of the day, great gains are we're on the verge of crazy gains. I don't want you guys to get squeezed out, but you need to understand exactly what's possibly going to be happening. I hope we rip up. I hope we don't have to worry about any deviations, but it's always on the table. If you guys are new to my channel, go ahead and check out the rest of my content. I'm an intermediate trader documenting my journey, showing you guys my wins and my losses, keeping you guys updated on the markets overall so you can capitalize on the events and know exactly what's going on. I plan to keep documenting my journey so you guys, whenever we see the crazy gains that I have been preaching about. But other than that, if you guys are new to my channel, drop me a comment, like, subscribe. Go check me out on X as well. I'm trying to get monetized on my X account as well as my YouTube channel. But other than that, guys, I drop daily content every day, so hopefully I see you guys in the next one. Peace.